the next guest speaker. This gentleman, I had the opportunity to meet for the very first time. I believe it was last June. My foundation, the Clothes for Kids program, Power Foundation Clothes for Kids foundation that I was talking about earlier. We supply the children at what used to be the Masonic Children's Home in Murfreesboro with brand new shoes and clothes for school. It's now called the Sparrow Children's Home. There was, at that time, 19 homeless children that lived in that home. And so it's a blessing to be able to help those kids out with the new apparel that they needed. And this last summer they had an event there. It was actually an open house when it was converted over from Masonic Children's Home to the Sparrow Children's Home. And I had an extremely hectic day and lined up for that day. And I wasn't for sure that I was going to be able to attend this open house and this celebration. But I told myself, I said, no, I've got to do everything possible to be there. And if I hadn't been to that event at that time in June, I would have not had the opportunity to meet our next speaker. Because we instantly hit it off like probably no one I've ever met before in my life. Someone that has the same philanthropic passion that I do. Someone with maybe even more passion, because as you're getting ready to find out, he has incredible passion. And he lives in Chicago. He drove down just for you last night, probably rolled in probably around midnight or 1 o'clock this morning to do this as a favor for me to be able to introduce himself to you. So without further ado, I'm going to let him talk a little bit about his bio and his history. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause for my good friend Raj Nayar.
Okay, I'm going to wake up.
One day, the angel spoke to God. God, we need to have a meeting with you. He said, all right, my children, let's head to the boardroom. God, we notice every time you look upon the globe, Earth, you find such great favor with the humans. That upsets us. What about us? Are we not your children? Yes, my angels, God spoke. What shall I do? It came to him. I shall host a grandiose tournament in your name. The first of you to encircle your world 7 times shall be forever remembered by me. In that moment, the angels of the sky soared through the clouds. The angels of the ocean splashed through the waters. The angels of the earth trekked across the sands, each encircling, racing in their great chariots around the world. But there, in that very boardroom, there was a young angel, a small angel, looking and thinking. And what does she do? She begins her circle. 1, and 2, 3, 6, and 7. She encircled her world. And as you look upon, you see that small, young, inexperienced angel encircled her parents 7 times. Because that was her world. And that's what she understood the challenge was from God. So my friends, why do I choose to share that tale with you? We've all heard it takes a village to raise a child, have we not? But it only takes one child to lead a village. And that's how each of us have assembled here today. But I forgot that. I forgot my roots. I forgot my heritage. I forgot my traditions. And that's why this story has great meaning to each of one of us, and perhaps myself. So who am I? What am I? Why do I have any rights to share this tale with you? I'm just a guy. I'm Raj. And here's my story. So I earned an MBA at a young age. I had the kind privilege to study at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, Harvard Business School, Washington University, so on and so forth. I made my first $1 million at 29 years of age. I have a beautiful 6-bedroom home on a golf course. I've given out 11 scholarships in my time. I've been very active in a community. I have met professional athletes. I've met a governor. I've attended a Victoria's Secret's fashion show. I feel like I've done it all. I've lived that American dream. But then the universe came one day and knocked on my door. Hello, Raj. Let me tell you a little something about the American dream. And then it began to unravel. I lost a dear woman close to me because I didn't give her enough attention. I was chasing that shallow lifestyle that I had built all around me. The money started to dissipate. There were some bad people who did some wrongful things to me, and my business suffered. And lastly, I had a mini stroke at a very young age. Blindness. I was lost. I was lost for 2 years. I was a robot, just walked through the weeks and the months, just eating and sleeping and working, disconnecting from the world around me. I didn't know what to do. I thought I was a pretty strong fellow, but I learned something about myself. When tragedy hits you, you find out what you're really made of. And then I came across this priest, a pundit. And he told me, son, you have American dream-itis. That was my disease, my infection. And he said, we need to heal you. And he took me through mindfulness and yoga and meditation and taught me how to re-understand my human spirit. So I took that pain, that darkness, that failure, that tragedy, and I retrained myself. I rebuilt my confidence. I built my public speaking skills. I began to study like I'd never studied before, the world around me and many of the subjects that you've all delved into. And then I started to become something more. And I found my calling. And I decided to go into the world of medicine. So I did all of those fun pre-medical courses, medical school, clinical training, and so on. And so today I sit before you as an entrepreneur in medicine, real estate, insurance, and now a physician in training. And I, along with a consorted team of very vigilant and dynamic individuals, have created a company that is doing some tremendous good in the world of medicine and general society. Innovate is our name. We help train people to get into the world of entrepreneurship coupled with humanitarianism. That's what I was missing. I was missing heart in everything that I was doing. And so where has that led us today? We have a beautiful board of 31 leaders. Physicians, business people, attorneys, humanitarians, and the like. We've had the great privilege of advancing ourselves in a number of different directions. I got to meet this guy because of our company. Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. Maybe you guys know him. He's not just a billionaire and the owner of a large NBA basketball team. He's a nice guy. Next year, we're presenting a TED Talk about some of our humanitarian endeavors as well as our clinical works in the company. Our next highlight, we've had the great gift of working with Senator Fowler, partnering with him in some charitable endeavors with children that you heard about earlier. There he is. He's been a gift. And lastly, one of our great highlights is we're now going to be showcased in a small movie about doctors and the hardships that they go through. There's a two-time Emmy Award-winning director out of LA who came to hear our story and the growth of our company, and we're going to be showcased with her. So forget all that for a minute. This story is not about me. This just begins to capture your attention, because that could be you. This is a story about us. One thing we forget all too often is that we each are afforded an opportunity to learn, from each other especially. We take each person's story and make it a small part of our own. And that's how you grow. You don't become an island. You don't isolate yourself. And that's how you grow. And what I learned in my experience from achieving the American dream, losing it, and reinventing it in a better form is that I learned to let ego go. I learned to find God, and I learned how to appreciate and invest in the beauty of human beings. We're all on this race for success, and we forget sometimes. So I can leave you with 3 small lessons. Perhaps it may be industrious to you. Perhaps you can share it with another. So my dad's rules. He said, always make yourself better by the people who are around you. So what did that mean? Let's listen to Dad. 1, be around people who are better than you. So if you're the A student, be around the A+ student. If you're making $100, be around someone who's making $200. Your circle of influence. 1. Number 2, and we'll touch into this afterwards in the end. I think you'll appreciate it. Find a battle cry. Get a theme song for yourself. And I'll share mine with you at the end of today's program. So a little chant that you give yourself in those dark, difficult moments at night when you want to fail, or someone criticizes you, or you just don't make it in that moment. And then lastly, service. You are all tremendous potential leaders, more than you even believe. And anybody who ever tells you that they've never had failure, or their success list is bigger than failure, they are lying to you. Then they have not become successful. And success takes many forms. Don't just look for the money trail. Service, humanitarian works, pride in your profession, pride in your family and friends. That's the 3rd caveat I can give you. Again, 1, look into service. 2, your battle cry. And 3, your circle of influence. Tragedy, failure is like a common cold. It comes and it goes. You've got fever, you've got aches and pains, you've got the cough, but for the most part it goes away. This is how the body develops its immunity. Cold is a necessary evil for us to modify ourselves as a human species. Failure is the same thing. Failure is the same pathology, the same disease, the same problem, but it's a gift. It's a gift. You just need to know how to embrace it, how to channel it. Nothing in life will have any meaning unless you have failure. Very much necessary. So my friends, in closing, it is a new and changing time for all of us. There's a long journey ahead. We may know that journey, but we don't yet understand our mission. For that time to come, you must depend on the people around you. So I ask you, go forward and circle your passions and make your American dream into your American purpose. Thank you. So one caveat, I know we have a little bit of a restriction on time today, and I'm very privileged to be here with all of you. I thank Senator Fowler and this tremendous team, and all of you and your families and friends that have allowed you and your institutions to be here. So I alluded to a small battle cry earlier, right? So what I'm going to ask each of you is to process this with me for a moment. Has anyone ever heard the word paladin? Paladin. It's a powerful word. For those historians in the room, you might understand it. If you look back into European history, the paladin warriors coming out of the French were warriors who were very strong, served the kingdoms, but they were the strong who carried the weak. Sometimes they went against their kings and queens and helped the people. So that word had a meaning for me over time, and I use it in my chant. So at 3 in the morning, I'm in the ER working, or 4 in the morning, and I'm just tired and I can't get my work done, or I'm just sad for whatever reason, I throw my right hand in the air, and I yell, I am the paladin! Bring it out of your belly. Phrenic nerve number 5. Pull it out of your belly. And it wakes you up, and it'll wake up anybody else in your house or what have you. And if they throw you out, that's a good thing. That means you really felt love from the inner person. So I'm going to ask all of you to endorse me in doing just that. And I'd like you to do the following with it. Dale, you know I've got your back.
I know you always do, buddy.
So what is this? No, we're not having a rhinoplasty session here, right? It's a red nose. Maybe some of you know what this is. There's something called Red Nose Day, and myself and Innovate cannot take credit for it, but it is about a charity endeavor that a group of celebrities started some years ago. Maybe some of you have seen this in Walgreens. It is about childhood poverty awareness. So when you wear the red nose, you get people to smile, you get people to open their eyes, you break down the boundaries, and you get to have a conversation. So it's about highlighting children. We help them, along with Senator Fowler and so many organizations out there, with medical supplies, new clothing and shoes, toys, books, what have you. So Red Nose Day is a larger celebration of children. So what I'm going to ask everybody is, we're going to practice that chant with our red noses on. And I'm very proud to see I don't see any resistance with the noses. Oh boy, everyone in the crowd. Don't be scared of the nose. All right. So, if everybody would be so kind with me, you got to laugh at yourself. That's how you're going to grow. I just became naked in front of all of you. I became so transparent about the failures in my life. So wearing a red nose should mean nothing to you. You will bring energy to you if you push the energy out, right? So we're going to say together, I am the paladin, while wearing our red noses. Does that sound good? Okay. So, and Nadine, can you come this side? So everybody understands what we did? You saw me. You got to scream. I want to see those glasses shaking. You got to break some windows in here. All right? So don't be shy. I know you all make some noise when you're here, when you're not here. Everybody can't be this prim and proper all the time. I definitely am not. Some of my patients like it, but some of my fellow docs do not. All right. Right hand in the air. Can we do this? Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. I am the paladin! Beautiful. God bless you all. Happy Red Nose. Thank you so much.
Oh, by the way, did you notice the socks?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
All right.
I mean, this is a tradition.
So I'm a little bit of a goofy guy. Especially my pediatric patients appreciate this. So I never wear the same sock. Oh, gosh. Dale had to put me on the spot. There's a big one over here. Everybody see?
Nice.
I'm a big superhero buff since I was a kid, and I am still a kid. Captain America on this side. Yeah. Oh, people like the captain, I hear that. So, as an entrepreneur, we look for solutions. We go through a lot of failures, but we look for solutions. So, I'm having laundry day one day, and I'm so fed up. I can never get those darn socks to match. Right? Come on, you all go through it, right? So I said, you know, how would an entrepreneur solve this problem? So I said, forget it. I'm just not going to match my socks. And so people started laughing at me. Oh, you're a weirdo. You can't get your socks to match. And what, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. And I was like, you know what? We're on to something. It gets a little laughter out of people. So I started buying all kinds of weird, funny, eventful socks. And now I wear them. So if you ever see me wearing socks that match, it's a bad day. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Raj. One more time for Raj. Yeah. Yeah.
See my short legs.